Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Endurance training, week 6 and 7. I've done a number of rides since we last spoke. Obviously, I think the last ride that I spoke about was the 70 miler that I did with Chris. I had an opportunity to do a series of different types of rides since then. I also had an opportunity to do something to test my fitness, just to make sure that I'm kind of on track and I feel pretty good. I've got a simple plan, just like slowly build up my endurance as I go. But the cool thing about this venture is I've been discovering different things about the relative effort that I feel I'm gonna need for this ride. Relative effort is if you ever ridden in a group and you sat on a wheel and let's say you're doing a century and you're sitting in the wheel doing rotations here and there, you get a feel for the effort that it takes to do that in terms of your heart rate, your breathing, and the power that you're putting out in your legs. So as I've been using the Jarvis for part of my training, I've been working on kind of simulating that relative effort. And one of the things that I found is if I'm keeping my watts between 90 and 100, and I'm keeping my heart rate in about the 130 beat per minute range, which is for me, that's zone 2, I can kind of ride all day doing that, providing that I don't have too many spikes in terms of power, and also that I'm dealing with nutrition the right way. So everything that I've been doing has been to help me to get to that point in terms of discovery. And I've got some new partners to my nutrition team that I'm looking forward to share with you guys. But first, let's talk about the rides that I have been doing since the last time we spoke. And I didn't really shoot any ride videos to speak of, but one of the rides that I did was of a ride that I did about a year ago, the Ride 84 ride, and I also did a commentary on it. I'm going to post a description of that so that you can check that out. So what's been going on with me in terms of ride? The first ride that I did since the 70 miler was a recovery ride that I did on Monday, which was a 28 miler, just a moderate pace that I did. And I believe I'm pretty sure that I kept that kind of like in zone 1, in zone 2. I like doing my recovery rides solo because I don't have to have the pressure of, catering to what somebody else's needs may be on a day like that. And one of the things that I'm really paying attention to is keeping my effort in check. One of the things that happens is on some of these recovery rides, I'm riding slower than what I normally would ride or what I would like to ride. So my body starts getting into this rhythm where it starts picking up, and I have to start reminding myself, dude, back it down. And I have to like make the concerted effort to like back my pace down so that I'm not going beyond the effort that I'm trying to accomplish on that day. That's very important. And that was kind of like the only ride that I did all week. It was just a very busy week with family and work commitments. And then Saturday I went out and I did the Ride 84 ride, 40 miles. We ended up with an average of about right at 22 miles an hour. And it was a good effort. The funny thing about that ride is that when the ride first started, about 10 miles in, when the pace first started picking up, I could tell that I did not do the right things for that type of effort in terms of my nutrition. And for like the next 3 miles, man, I was down in gels and I was drinking my SIS tabbed water like crazy, just trying to get my body caught up. And fortunately, they kept it under 25, so I was actually able to get my body caught up, and I was fine there the rest of the ride. So that was that ride. The very following day, I went out and I rode with Big Wheel. We ended up doing 35 miles. We started out with, I think about 20 guys when the B group formed, and just the intensity from the pace line, we ended up with maybe about 8 to 10 guys, but it was a good workout for me. And then I didn't do anything on Monday. That Tuesday, I went out again. I rode a recovery ride, familiar loop around here, 28 miles, again, recovery as it should be. And then we had a drastic change in temperature. So I decided to do a couple things at home. One of them I did on Thursday. I loaded up a GPX file from a Century ride that I missed, that a friend of mine, Chris, who was in the video with me on the 70 miler. But because of the way how the Jarvis is set up and the software for it, I'm able to load up a GPX file, and it gives me the actual feel of the ride in terms of terrain changes and things like that. And I can put out the amount of power that I want to do and ride it the way that I want to ride it. And I did the first about 23 miles at home on the trainer. And then when the temperature started coming up a little bit and the wind started dying down a little bit, I actually went out on the road and I rode for 25 miles, again, my familiar loop. So I got 40 something, almost 50 miles on that day. Then the following day I rested, and then I did the crazy. We had really bad weather on Saturday. And what I did was I loaded up the GPX file for Orlando to Jacksonville ride. My initial intent was to do 5 hours and to kind of like, see where it would have taken me, because what I really wanted to do was I really wanted to experiment with what I was doing in terms of nutrition. I had a decent breakfast, and then I got on and I did 90 minutes. I stopped after 90 minutes. I had a bagel and replenished my water bottles, had a gel. Got back on, did another 90 minutes, stopped again, and all this time I'm feeling really good because, again, I'm controlling my effort and making sure that I'm maintaining zone 2 the entire time. Then I had a little bit more of a deliberate meal. I had a couple scrambled eggs, but also while I'm doing this, while I'm riding, I'm drinking my SIS electrolytes, I'm downing gels. I have one of these bars, which to me is the equivalent of having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I'm munching on that throughout the ride, and I'm also munching on a banana throughout the ride. And I'm not scarfing down big meals. I'm just like eating small bits in regular intervals, and that does my body good. After those 3 hours, I got back on after the breakfast, and I did another hour, and felt really good doing that other hour again, keeping the same increments of nutrition that I've spoken about. But my plan was to do a 5th and maybe a 6th hour. At that point, after the first 2 90-minute sections, I was going to do 1 minute intervals and maybe go up to like 6 hours of riding. One of our kids needed a ride to work, so I had to stop and go take her to work. Now, what did I learn? I learned that the nutrition plan that I'm currently using and the effort that I'm currently using, I believe will get me through the ride properly, because I'm not riding on my own. I'm sharing work, and I'm thankful for the Jarvis because it helped me to simulate, again, that relative effort of doing that. What did I learn after 4 hours? I was fresh as a daisy. I don't believe that the 5th and 6th hour would have been an issue for me at all. So I'm feeling very good about where I am. My plan is this weekend is to do a 120 mile ride. Hopefully we'll have good weather to be able to do it. If not, I'll just simulate that ride again on the Jarvis. And I feel good about the equipment. I'm pretty sure that we're going to be doing this on the Pinella, guys, because I've been riding it more and more and feeling better and better. I don't have anything to do in terms of dialing it in. And in terms of, I'd rather ride a rim brake bike with mechanical components and clincher tires. A lot less can go wrong with that configuration than with electronic shifting and tubular tires. So that's where we're at. So thanks again for tuning in. Our aim here is to inform, instruct, inspire, be blessed.